Hello, my fellow gamers. This is Moses with Project Bakken. In today's video, I want to talk about two things, and that's going to be game key cards and pretty much Resident Evil, I guess. So let's start off with that. Now, I do want to give some disclosures before, so people don't think I'm being biased and stuff like that. But I did, work with IGN back in the day. Left that. Did work for or created my own competitor, and again, they're still active, alive, and well, still doing reviews. I don't want to disclose that at the moment, but eventually I will if you keep watching and subscribe. But yeah, so anyways, pretty much I still have friends in the industry. Really good close friends of mine were people who worked on creating Resident Evil and are still creating the games and things like that. So yeah, again, I recently purchased a Nintendo Switch 2. Was able to get back into gaming. As you know, my kids are at an age where they don't need so much attention. I can actually take a break and play video games again. So again, I've been off of video games, not fully, but I've been pretty much away from it for about, I say, 7 years. So yeah, let's go with that. So again, coming back into the world of gaming, mainly Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, I reached out to one of the buddies of mine, and that works in the industry, actually a few of them, to actually say that, and told them about game key cards. Why is there a controversy about game key cards? Pretty much what game key cards are, pretty much you having to download the full game, and these game key cards serve as a license to play the game, so you're still downloading the full game to your Switch, and you're gonna need that game key card to act as a key to play the game. So I was like, hey, people are pissed off, they want their physical copies. I've seen a lot of, backlash on that. Why is it becoming so crazy? And pretty much they're saying, yeah, physical copies are what is driving people now. A lot of people want to have that physical copy. Again, back in the days when we had physical copies, we own the games. You can play them now still. So that's a big thing. And I was like, oh, that's very understandable. So what's going on with that? Why are you guys doing the game key cards? Is it a cheaper thing or anything like that? Just be honest, And they were like, no, it's not that. It's just people aren't really understanding what's going on here. If you want to play games like Resident Evil Requiem that they created, games like this require so much data that the game key card cannot handle. So pretty much saying if you download the game, you can actually play these games. So big thing, pretty much me and him talked about, it's like, yeah, people are just gonna have to purchase a memory card. I recommend a terabyte, because a lot of these games that are going to be, high quality, again, like Resident Evil 9 Requiem, are going to require this high storage to actually play them and play well. If you have a Resident Evil 9 Requiem game on just the game key card without the downloadable thing, then it's not gonna work. So this is gonna be the thing. They're saying if these big companies are actually working on making these large platform games, like high-class A games, to play, in this Switch 2 system, and the only way that can happen is if they're downloadable. The game key cards, again, are not big and strong enough to, withhold that. The technology isn't there yet. So we were kind of just talking about that. They're saying, again, for the future, this is pretty much how it's going to be. I did hear and see, again, spoke to him, that they are releasing the Resident Evil, 7 and 8 as well. So that's going to come out. I'm actually excited to say that I'm actually going to receive the game early by Christmas time, so I'm going to get to play it, because my buddy, again, he's going to hook me up. Sad thing is that I can't really do a review or things like that, just for, purposes that, legal purposes. So he says he can actually get me a game, Resident Evil 9 Requiem, to play it early. So I'm excited for that. I might do an unboxing on that. I'm not sure. I'm going to see what legalities I can do with it, but that's going to be exciting. So yeah, again, excited for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and 7 and 8. That are also being released as the bundle. Again, he's going to provide me that bundle, so I'm excited for that. One thing he was actually telling me as well, which hopefully I don't get in trouble, but he was saying that they're working on releasing other titles in the same way. But the sad thing is, again, they're going to be game key cards, because these just can't hold. So I think they're saying they're remaking. They're working on remaking Resident Evil 2 and 3. on game key cards. So I think there's a downloadable version you can play in the Nintendo store that you can download, but it's like a cloud thing. So again, they're going to change that to being able to download the game and having a physical copy as a game key card. But again, moving forward, it's going to be game key cards if you do want to play these games, because again, they require so much. So again, I'm actually excited for that. So I'm sorry if I wasn't able to say that, but I guess, you know, I'm saying it. They are working, like I said, on 2 and 3. I guess there was remakes on that, so they're working on making those remakes as well to being playable. I was talking about them remaking 5 and 6, and he didn't really want to tell me anything, but it's seeming like they are on the works to not fully remaking them, but upgrading them and just doing a remastered version of them. And again, they're also going to be available to be released in physical copies, but that's pretty much it's going to be a timely thing. They said that there are big plans for next year for their 30th anniversary. So again, again, he didn't want to give me too much. They're like, there's some things that he just couldn't tell me. So or she, not saying. And yeah, I mean, again, I'm really excited for what Resident Evil has to do. Again, I'm a big horror fan, and just because I'm an ambassador, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm blindly going to say these games are great. I personally didn't like Resident Evil 5 as much. I did when it came out, to be honest, but I replayed it back in 2020 for a little bit, and I just couldn't get back into it. It was just like a little bit outdated for me, and it just didn't age well. But you know, that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much all the news I have. Again, the big thing with game key cards is there isn't enough space on the game key card itself for them to play and create these large filed games, and for them to perform well, they have to be large, and you pretty much have to download them in the system, and game key cards is going to be the physical way to have it. So yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this information, please like. Again, the big thing with this channel is actually creating a Nintendo Switch 1 and 2 collection. So if you have game recommendations that you guys want to throw down in the comments down below, please do. I've received a few. They send them through personal message, but I do recommend please leaving it down in the comments below so I can download these games. I did reserve and purchase Legends ZA for Pokemon. I have a review coming on that soon, but I'm doing it a little bit late because I'm connecting it with another game that I purchased. So that's going to be probably a 2-part, or not a 2-part, but 2-in-1 type situation. But thank you for watching. I know this went on a little long, but hopefully this information was kind of helpful. You're hearing it from here, and I'm going to try to give you as much news as I can from the people in the industry I know. So keep watching. Thank you guys. See you next time. Peace out.